Walmart is an enormous company that generated a massive revenue of $572 billion in 2021. It is the world's largest employer, with over 2 million people working for the company, and the biggest retailer in terms of sales. However, building such a massive empire wasn't easy. It all began with a poor farmer who, after being told he had no future in the retail business, decided to open his own store. But wait! Before we dive into today's topic, we have an exciting announcement to make. From today, you can join our fantastic giveaway. To participate, all you have to do is subscribe to our channel, follow us on our brand new social media, and share your favorite content. You can enter as many times as you like to increase your chances of winning great prizes. For all the information, visit the link in the description. We wish good luck to all who participate. Now back to our topic. Sam Walton was born on March 28, 1918, in Kingfisher, Oklahoma. His father, Thomas Walton, was a farmer, but the farm wasn't generating enough money to provide for his family. Because of this, the family traveled around the country, searching for greener pastures, moving from one state to another until they finally settled in Columbia, Missouri. He watched how his father survived by turning a small profit on each business deal he made. He also watched his mother start up a fairly successful milk business that involved him milking cows and delivering the milk to customers in the neighborhood after his football practice. His parents taught him the value of hard work and just how much work it took to make a single dollar. However, things weren't great at home for Sam. His father, Thomas, was almost never with the family, as he was always on the road trying to make extra money where he could. Because of this, Thomas's relationship with his wife worsened every year. In fact, in his autobiography, Sam described his parents as the two most quarrelsome people to ever live together. To escape the troubles at home, Sam engaged himself in sports, joined the Boy Scouts, and took several leadership roles that kept him busy. Sam graduated from David H. Hickman High School in 1935 and decided to attend the University of Missouri to take his first steps into the business world. While in school, he worked many odd jobs to support himself, including delivering newspapers and waiting tables in exchange for meals. Upon his graduation in the spring of 1940, Sam would get his first taste of the retail industry. He got himself a job as a sales trainee at JCPenney, which back then was just a small shop in Des Moines, Iowa. His starting pay was $75 a week, but this job did not go smoothly for Sam, and he was seen as one of JCPenney's worst employees. One thing counting against him was that his bookkeeping was terrible because he hated making his customers wait while he fussed with paperwork. As a matter of fact, Sam's boss threatened to fire him at one point and even told him that he had no career in the retail business. The only thing that saved Walton was his gift for salesmanship, which earned him an extra $25 a month in sales commissions. When the Second World War reached America in 1941, Walton was eager to play a role in it. He quit his job the following year and joined the U.S. Army. The Army recognized Sam's natural leadership skills and selected him to become a member of the military's intelligence corps, where he rose to the position of captain. The military stationed Sam in Oklahoma in April of 1942, where he met his future wife, Helen. After a short period of dating, they got married on Valentine's Day in 1943. In 1945, when the war ended, Walton found himself with a wife and child to support. In order to provide for his family, he decided to launch his own retail business. He obtained a $20,000 loan from his father-in-law and $5,000 from his own savings, and used the funds to purchase a Ben Franklin store in Newport, Arkansas. It's important to note that countless small stores had failed throughout the 20th century in America. When Walton purchased the struggling Ben Franklin store, it was losing a significant amount of money. Not only did he invest in a store that wasn't generating much revenue, but he was also paying a rent rate that was far too high, 5% of sales. Although this rate sounded reasonable at first, Walton soon discovered that it was the highest rate ever paid for a variety store business. Despite these challenges, Walton exceeded all expectations. He studied the traditional rules of retail and then broke the ones that he believed didn't make sense, which, for him, was almost all of them. He found a clause in his contract that allowed him to purchase his merchandise from other sources, and then lowered the cost of his goods well below what other stores were selling them for. He made his profit on volume rather than margin, but it took him nearly a decade to fully appreciate the power of this idea. Walton's success was not due to any extraordinary actions or innate genius. While he was undoubtedly business savvy, the main reason for his success was his policy of making his customers' lives easier. By doing so, more and more people began to buy from him. When things were going well, Walton asked his brother, Bud, to join him, and together they were able to run the store more efficiently. The Butler brothers, who owned the store that Walton had leased, were not pleased that he was getting his merchandise from elsewhere, but they couldn't argue with the numbers. Walton's sales had increased by over 45%, reaching $105,000 in his first full year of ownership. The following year, the number increased again to $140,000, and by the third year, his sales had increased by another 25%, reaching $175,000. After only 3 years in business, Walton was able to fully repay his father-in-law's $20,000 loan. 2 years later, he had become the leading variety store owner in Arkansas, and likely in neighboring states as well. However, it's worth noting that the business was ultimately doomed to fail, regardless of Walton's impressive achievements. In 1945, when Sam Walton signed the lease for his Newport store, he made a crucial mistake: there was no renewal clause. At the time, renewals were a standard feature of leases, so when Walton's father-in-law discovered the oversight, he was shocked. Walton had poured his heart and soul into the business and the town, and his wife, Helen, equally loved the community, as 3 of their 4 children were born there. In his autobiography, Walton describes this as the lowest point of his life, feeling sick to his stomach that he had built the best variety store in the region, done everything right in the community, and yet was being forced to leave. After being kicked out of his store, Walton was eager to start over, but this time he was determined to do it right. He searched for a new location to buy another store and found one in the tiny community of Bentonville, Arkansas. Walton insisted on a 99-year lease for his new store, which he opened in the summer of 1950 and called Walton's 5 and Dime. Despite skeptics who gave him only 60 or 90 days before he would fail, Walton proved them wrong by offering consistent low prices and changing the lives of the people in the Bentonville community. During the 1950s, America's economy was thriving, and Walton took advantage of it by finding new ways to reduce the prices of his goods and keep his customers happy. He learned about self-service in the retail industry, which allowed customers to get goods themselves and pay at the entrance, reducing the need for sales clerks and further reducing the cost of his goods. This simple concept not only worked perfectly but also tripled his income in less than a year, allowing him to further expand his business. By the end of the 1950s, Walton owned 15 stores, which he had acquired using borrowed money and profits from his stores. Despite this success, he felt that he wasn't making as much profit as he should for the amount of work he was putting into his business. So he adopted a new strategy that would change everything. Sam's vision was to create large discount stores in small towns by reducing prices on everything they stocked. While this idea was not new, the difference was that other discount stores were small and located in cities, and only offered discounts on specific items. Sam's idea was a big gamble that required a lot of money to make it work. Initially, Sam approached the company that franchised Ben Franklin stores with his idea, but they refused to back him because it meant cutting their standard wholesale margin in half. With no other options, Sam decided to mortgage his home, borrow a lot of money, and open his first Wal-Mart store in Rogers, Arkansas in 1962. Customers were thrilled that they didn't have to travel to the city to get discount prices on goods, and they flocked to Wal-Mart stores in droves. The company's sales rose tremendously in those years. Sam continued to learn from his competitors and developed new ways to further reduce the prices of his goods. He replaced wooden shelves with cheaper and more durable metal ones and kept his stores open longer hours than his competitors. Wal-Mart also provided large parking lots, and unlike his competitors, never charged customers for parking. Until 1969, Sam had funded the expansion of his business through profits and borrowing money. But in 1970, he decided to take the company public. The initial offering generated about $5 million, and Walton and his family retained about 61% ownership of the stock. The money allowed Sam to pay off debts, loans from friends, and move forward with his next ambitious plans for the country. Between 1970 to 1980, Wal-Mart rapidly grew from 6 to 276 stores and continued opening around 100 stores per year. Sam Walton's success was due to low costs, partnerships, one-day delivery, direct purchasing, and Sam's wholesale clubs. Walmart's success drew criticism for putting small retailers out of business, but Walton believed in customer choice. Walmart now has 10,500 plus stores and generates over $500 billion in revenue annually. Sam Walton died in 1992, with Walmart's annual revenues exceeding $104 billion. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.